Hello, I'm the Cartooner. This is my YouTube channel. Since 2020, when I met my partner Molly, we've made annual, if not semi-annual trips down to the cities, Minneapolis, St. Paul. We just got back from this year's trip, which we centered around Console Room, which I just discovered, and it's Minnesota's Doctor Who convention, and I didn't even know the thing existed, and yet this was its 11th year, or I think it was 11th anyway. It's been going on a while, and the fact that I just am now discovering it is terrible, but we'll be going back next year. Anyway, first, we're getting ahead of ourselves. I felt like I kind of got a running start to the year, which is great. I just sat down and I started writing for once. Like literally, I was just writing and writing and writing. One little thing about the story that I've been writing clicked, and all of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh, and then all the domino pieces kind of toppled onto each other, and everything has just been kind of flowing out since. Because I've had this issue where I have my main protagonist Eileen, and I've known for years. I've been working on this story since 2016. I think it's been. I've been overthinking it for that long, basically. But I've always kind of known that in some capacity, Eileen had a love interest, and for years I didn't even know who that was. And then all of a sudden I realized that part of the story needed to specifically revolve around her and her daily boring routine, and then her being kind of like swept up into the adventure. The idea is just copying, as you might expect, Doctor Who, thinking of the love interest as kind of like a companion, and thinking of Eileen as kind of like the Doctor. Eileen's always off on these escapades and getting up to things, and so she comes in and brings along Tori with her, because that's the love interest's name, Tori. Anyway, so I was writing that, and then just before leaving, I felt like I was getting kind of in the mud a little bit. I was like, okay, where exactly am I going? What? I have all these weird random beats in my head, but I don't know exactly where they all land and how they lead into each other exactly. So I thought, okay, I'm just gonna start laying them out on just index cards. And I've drawn a fair few. I don't know how they're showing up at all. I only drew so many before the trip, but it was still quite a few. And then since we've been back, which has only been like 2 days, I've drawn a fair few more. But then I was interrupted because we had to go to this Doctor Who convention that I didn't even know about until I saw a post from Galen Lee, the singer. We had done a podcast through So's podcast, which you can find anywhere you listen to podcasts. We had just done the podcast, and then I just seen a post on Instagram and that she was mentioning going in January, and I was like, what, huh? Because I didn't even know she'd like the show when we were talking, which is probably a good thing, because then it's probably all we would have talked about. Like instead of like her career, or her disability advocacy, or anything more important. Anyway, yeah, we drove down, got to the hotel. It was a Hilton, so it's nice and whatever. But man, it was so cool to walk in, and there's like a cutout of a Dalek, and there's a sign on it with instructions of where to go sign in. And there's all these scarves, and people are dressed as the 13th Doctor and the 11th Doctor, and I don't think I saw many of any 10th Doctors. I think I remember seeing one 14th. I saw one 15th Doctor and Ruby, and they looked great. I think I saw a fair few 7th Doctors as well, which made sense because the 7th Doctor was there. I didn't get to see him or meet him or anything. I didn't try that hard either. I was just trying to get a lay of the land, get a kind of feel for the place. So normally when I'm here and I'm out and about, and I'm always keeping an eye out everywhere for anything Doctor Who related, and I always snatch it up as soon as I see it. If I do end up coming across stuff, which is rare. It's of course at a Doctor Who convention though. It's not rare at all. There's stuff everywhere. It was like Christmas. It was just incredible. It did feel a little 2013, but I think that makes sense considering that's like the last time there was any Doctor Who merch in America. So all the shopping was separated into a dealer area and an artist's alley area. I got this Second Doctor bookmark. I spilled a little bit of coffee on it, which is great. Great little bookmark. I really need to take care of it because it's nice looking. I need to put it up yet, but oh wait, this wasn't even at the convention, so I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but whatever. I got this Doctor Who 2024 calendar that I'll need to put up so I know what date it is, because otherwise I just won't know. One of the pieces of art that I purchased in the artist alley was this print of a velociraptor running through the snow by Anna Volt. They had some other prints there of some other dinosaurs, some other TARDISes, not other TARDISes, TARDISes. And then these really cool metal prints too that I wish I could have afforded, but anyway, I'm really happy to have this one. I think it looks really, really cool, and I want to use it as kind of reference for color wise, especially for stuff for the comic that we'll get back to in a little bit. And then we bought this original piece from an artist who goes by the name of Abstract Machina called Heart of the TARDIS, and it's gorgeous, as you can see. I'm very excited to have this. It was really exciting to be able to buy an original piece of art from the artist and, like, you know, do something nice for somebody while also getting like a really cool piece of art that I'm just like, I'm so excited to hang it up in our little artist hallway, that because we have some other original pieces from some other artists that we've met in our travels, and it's a collection I'm very, very proud of. I should do a video on that one of these days. I'll have to sit down with Molly and do that. And then I also purchased this little plushy TARDIS that someone had made. There's like shells in it or something, and I think some of them were a little bigger and had some dowels in them. This one doesn't, apparently, and there's other stuffing or something. I don't know. Anyway, very cool. I'm really glad to have it. And after we left the artist alley, we thought, well, why not try to make our own art in the little like arts and crafts room that they had? And so I I colored in with crayon this picture of Matt Smith, which actually, you know, for just using crayon, I think turned out all right. And then we went to, as we usually do on these trips, to the Mall of America, because it's the biggest mall in America. Normally it's like I kind of feel gross about these big shrines to capitalism, but the Mall of America is fun because it's like a big theme park, because it literally has a theme park in it. And while at the Mall of America, I couldn't believe that I found the Doctor Who regeneration set. So I found these Jodie Whittaker from Power of the Doctor, who then, spoilers, regenerated into 14th Doctor David Tennant. And then this incredible little art store called Wet Paint, which, that, like, if I lived in Minneapolis, I would 1,000,000% want to work there. I would hope they would hire me. And then just before we got lunch and left, we stopped at an antique store called Hunt and Gather, which had all these weird statues of bald dudes, or like these busts. I don't know what the deal with that was, but probably fine. Then we got back home and I got right back to work on the comic. I had, like, you know, like a small little amount of index cards drawn, and then now I have a whole stack of them, and I'm just gonna keep going. Eventually I'll have to take the index cards. I'm thinking I'll probably just scan them in somehow to make them digital, and then ink over those, like, you know, lay out the index cards on a page with their proper panels and whatnot, and just ink over them, because honestly the way that the sketches are turning out are pretty good, I think, or good enough at least, which is an interesting feeling to have, to say, oh yeah, that's good enough. I feel like I'm really growing as an artist. And then I want to have some colors in there. I want the colors to be kind of almost not flat, but kind of simple, with really my focus on having whatever colors are there being kind of realistic looking, like having a really realistic looking colored sky, having like bits of skin that look like they're properly, like almost like they're exposed on a camera, except it's still, you know, oh, it's not quite the same, but honestly the closest comparison is like The Amazing World of Gumball. You know how kind of they have like the 3D rendered backgrounds and stuff, but then the 2D modeled characters. That's kind of close to what I'm thinking. That's what I want, and I figure I could probably do that digitally easy enough. And I kind of think that this comic Beyond Mayhem can kind of be digital, and I have some ideas like how I want to kind of try to experiment with it a little bit, taking advantage of the fact that it's digital. And then I have another comic project that I really need to get working on that I think I wanted it to be a lot more pen and paper, like traditionally done. Anyway, I think that about does it for this update. Hopefully by the next video I'll have all the cards done. I'll have the whole story thought out and written out, and then we can start inking that. And then, you know, maybe this will have like an early summer, springtime release. Maybe get my next one done by the end of summer. My goal, I just got a new job as a dishwasher, and my goal is I want to quit that as soon as possible. I want to try to make something that's good enough for people to want to purchase, and enough people do that I can support myself. It's nice to be able to have that goal, and then now to be able to start separating the creation of the art with the final like distribution of it. Like I can actually just sit and make a comic. Like I drew one of the cards last night, and I thought it was so funny. I kept kind of giggling to myself. It's just like, it's fun to have that feeling drawing again. Things are going really well right now. I think what I want to say. The convention was great. The comic is coming along great. I'm excited to show more stuff. My biggest issue right now with I think I have something I could put up as far as like maybe a sketchbook compilation based on like what we did for the last video, but I don't even really know like how to assemble it. I've been kind of avoiding looking that up. It just seems like I feel like I'm gonna have to make some sort of a PDF. I don't know. It just sounds kind of boring. Anyway, I need to do it though. So that's where we are right now. I have other videos thought up that I want to do. It'll take a little bit of time. But even still, I should be back with a new video here relatively soon. If you like the video, why not leave a like? Maybe subscribe? I have links to other things like my Instagram in the description at thecartooner27. That's where I post artwork and stuff right now. Eventually I'll have a comic somewhere. I don't know. There's some comics in there. Okay, I'm rambling. Thanks for watching. Bye.